Hi, everybody. I hope that you are having a good week as we start out our 11th week of the semester. This week's kind of content is going to be centered around interpreting the data. And the one thing that I tell you in the presentation for that is that if you're just in the midst of collecting your data, or even if you're not going to start until next week or something like that, you might want to hold off on that presentation and watch it when it's kind of meaningful to you. Although I will say, probably going through it once and then going back once you have your data and you're in the midst of interpreting it, it will be helpful as well. So either way is fine, but if it can save you some time and you can focus on some of the other parts, that would be great. We really are getting down to not very many more parts left of the project, and so that will be good news to you. I hope that you are in the midst of collecting data, or I hope that you have that on your docket for the next week or so, because we are really running out of our weeks in the semester, believe it or not. Um, Thank you for all of your literature reviews. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go directly and start grading those. In fact, I already have one back. But just so that you know, I try to do a really, not that I always don't when I grade, but I try and do a very thorough job of those, because I want to give you some really good feedback so that it will be better in the final product, which you'll put then into your project. And so Karen was the lucky one. She got hers in first, so I graded hers first, and that's kind of how I'm going to go. Although I know there's a lot of you that did grade them or hand them in on the due date on Thursday and so forth. With these, you guys, just so that you know, it probably takes me about 2 to 3 hours to grade each one. I provide you with written feedback. I provide you with kind of the document with edits and suggestions on it, and then I provide you with audio feedback, and then I send that back through you or to you through Moodle. And so in order to get all that put together and done, it really does take me about 2 to 3 hours. And like you, with your busy lives and so forth, there's just so much that you can do every day. And so for me to get 1 to 2 of those done today, or a day, is about all I can do. Now I'm going to try to pedal as fast as I can in order to get, because this is a large class, but I basically made a list, and I'm just going to go down that list. I feel that's probably the fairest way to do it. So my goal is to get this week, by like next Monday, I hope to have Karen's back. Karen's is already back. Joni, Deb, Eric, Melissa, Brenda, Amy W., and Patrick. Those were kind of the first ones done that I received. And if you think I missed you for some reason, go ahead. But the rest of you, don't worry. You just keep moving ahead, and hopefully I'll get those back to you then the next week. So if I can get a turnaround on these on 2 weeks, you guys will be in a good shape. Okay. Now there's a few that we're still kind of working on and stuff. If it goes past that 2 weeks, I'm not, we'll make it work, and we'll it will be fine. But I just want to give you kind of the lay of the land that way. Now, the other thing, and I want to totally apologize. I know that you haven't gotten your article critiques back yet. I have some of them partial done and so forth. I'm gonna hold off on those and get these done, because I think these are really timely, and then I'll get those. Don't worry about those. I'm sure, the ones that I've gone, you're fine grade wise and so forth. But I don't really have an excuse, but the only excuse is, I guess, I just I've taken on a lot this semester, this year, in terms of kind of additional responsibilities, and it's starting to show for me. And the other thing, that I have 5 master students that are graduating this semester, and this will make more sense to you in a year when all of you are getting ready to graduate. But having to read their thesis, their creative components, and so forth, and I want to make sure that they do graduate. I don't want to hold them up, and they have their orals coming up here in a couple of weeks, so we have to get those materials out. So not to get, but I wanted to be honest and forthright into why I haven't been as timely as I usually am at getting back this feedback. But your literature review, guaranteed you will get it back in a timely fashion. If for some reason you don't, then I will let you know and when to expect it. So with that, I think this week now we're just going to be working on interpreting the data. So I think that's kind of going to be an interesting topic for you. Notice that at the bottom here, I talk about finalizing the parts 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9 in terms of, the document, because you will want to start getting those together. Start drafting your data collection, and then your data analysis and your interpretation parts. But of course, you can't do 11 until you've actually collected that data. So, that may have to hold off, but at least you can start kind of looking at it and so forth. The other thing that I just wanted to alert you to, this is our wiki. And again, after kind of these examples for the data analysis and so forth, that's up there for Stacy. There's this part on action research project examples: Sally's, Jeanette's, Melissa's, and Carrie's. Okay, now I give you these examples especially for data collection, data analysis, and interpretations or findings. Now, I kind of explained this in the other video, so I won't go into detail, but if the headings are a little bit different, that's okay. I've learned to adjust them over the semester and or over the years, and in fact, I'm kind of adjusting it for you a little bit this time too. But as you read these examples, I think these 4 are really good examples. What I can't show you is what did they get for a final grade. Okay, I don't have permission to do that. But I think from all 4 of these are solid projects. None of them got a perfect 100, because there's always something probably to tweak or to revise or something. But they're all very solid, especially in the data analysis and the interpretations. Now, the other parts, you're more than welcome to go and read through, okay? But I just want to point out that like the first 2 examples, those were done several semesters ago, but I still think they're good projects. Their introduction, I talk about the introduction this week, and now how I really want you to fine-tune that a little bit. And I will say Sally and Jeanette, both of them, neither one of them did it perfectly, because I'm going to tell you in the video, make sure you put a model of action research into the introduction. Well, I can't remember which one right now, but I know one of them did not do that. And so since they didn't, they got points off, okay? But probably Melissa's and Carrie's would be better to show for that. So again, it's like, you guys, a lot of you are teachers. If you're not in your own classroom, you're definitely educators. And I think one of the things that we struggle with as educators is, should I even give them examples? And some classes I do not, but in this class I do feel that it is helpful. But know that if I could give you that perfect example that does everything correctly, I would. But so far that probably hasn't totally existed, because there's always something, okay? Because it's a big project. So I'm hoping that as you look at these examples and you kind of come back and do your own, that you do put your own to it. It's not that I kind of give you a recipe, but it's not like it's not like you can't be that creative with it, but action research is action research. So kind of keep that in mind, and again, read those with caution. I know you won't copy them, but I also know that, having a little guidance in that way may be helpful, especially since we don't meet face to face on a weekly basis. So, with that, I think that's really all that I have for you this week. Next week, I will be talking about action planning. And if you notice on your list, that's the last one that's black that we haven't talked about. Otherwise, all the parts have at least been mentioned and hopefully introduced in terms that you can now go and complete them. So with that, I will let you go and keep up the great work. I'm really enjoying, I mean, I've only read one literature review, but if all of them come in like that, we're in great shape. So hopefully they do, and hopefully I can help you and even strengthen that part of your project for you. So you guys have a great week. If you need anything, please let me know. And I will kind of put my nose to the grindstone in terms of grading and get those back to you as soon as I can. So with that, take care and have a great week.